share with me and get to know me.
Working within it so that you can trust
You gotta
them.
be able to produce things. And I'll tell you why that production is so important. But before we go there, how do you use those two pieces of equipment? And
Success is not necessarily financial, but success is when you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. And then
to other women, they need to know their value, their worth.
But I believe everything that you put your mind to and you achieve, it's success.
Give us all the stuff.
Okay, I'll answer all 16 of those questions right now. I started in the music business at Sony while I was still...
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of the Renee Speaks podcast. Today, y'all, I am so excited to bring to you today's special guest. Today's special guest grew up in Macon, Georgia. She attended UGA, Go Dogs, from 1984 to 1988. And she earned her degree in speech communication with a focus on public communication. She's always had a passion for philanthropic work, which drove her to contact with U.S. Health, which is with a mission of Statement of Hope, which is an acronym for helping other people every day. After a sales career in print advertising right out of college, she moved into a territory manager's role in paper gift sales. She ventured into the jewelry business, partnering with small business owners as her first entrepreneurial role in over a decade. Next was back to corporate, but her desire to own her own business just burned. So fast forward to mid-2013, and that's when she started Health Insurance Belle. She has been promoted 2 times and now enjoys a thriving business. Y'all, please join me in welcoming Heather Cadle. Hey, Heather.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It is good. It is busy and it is good.
I am sure. With you being in the insurance industry and there being enrollments and renewals and all kinds of things going on, we just can't wait to hear more about that and how we can stay ahead of the game. But first of all, Heather, why don't you tell us all just a little bit about yourself, about your entrepreneurial journey? I know I gave a high-level recap, but I know you can definitely fill us in on the details of what got you to where you are today, and how you even thought about starting your own business.
Wow. What got me here? Probably the multiple journeys that I had previous to this. Corporate America is wonderful for a lot of reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
being a business owner is even more wonderful for many more reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You are in charge of what your result is as a business owner. So,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I love corporate and learned from corporate, it was a good grooming field for me to be able to venture out into what I do now.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get the idea for insurance?
When I decided to leave corporate America, I took 2.5 months to self assess and see what was out there and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that my career choice as a self employed entrepreneur was something I could do for the rest of my life, or not the rest of my life,
Right.
obviously, but the rest of my professional life.
Right.
So I really, probably a handful of people said, you really need to do insurance. And I said, at my age, I don't think that I could build a book of business large enough to be successful,
Hmm.
in insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in my 2.5 months of research, I found a company that helped you develop so you could have your own business, but you had the support of a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And their mission statement fell right in line with what I wanted to do, help other people every day. The
Wow.
president of our company tells us all the time, income is the outcome. And he's right. If you help
Mm-hmm.
other people, you will be rewarded financially and from a gratification standpoint.
That's right. That is so true. And I think it's so key for the folks listening to the replay later or whenever they get a chance to listen. You said something that is so key, and that is that you wanted to find an industry that would sustain you throughout the rest of your career. So when people have these ideas about, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, it's a great point that you made that one of the things that they need to assess it is this, it's really critical. So thank you so much for bringing that, and making point and just saying to your own about things that matter to you, are most important to you. It's just so powerful. If you're doing something and you're on somebody else's train trying to achieve their goal or trying to help them achieve their goals, then you're not really staying true to yourself, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, then you do your thing that works for you. Do
Correct.
you agree?
And it has to be something, in
Does
my
that make
opinion, it has
sense?
to be something that, yep. And it has to be something that helps other people. I'm not in it for just me. I'm in it to
Mhm.
help other people achieve whatever it is, not necessarily in the business, because our business model is to go out into the community and not only help people with their health
Mhm.
insurance, but also help people that are in need, whether it is hungry, homeless, whatever the focus is.
Right, right. And when you feel a need, that's key. So whatever entrepreneurial idea you have, the one question is, what problem am I solving?
Exactly.
What need am I filling? That has got to be first and foremost, because if you're just out here doing something that nobody needs, I mean, you may like it, but if nobody needs it or wants it, and they're not going to pay money for it, and it's just like it should just be a hobby instead of an actual entrepreneurial endeavor. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yes. Awesome.
You have to
Awesome.
figure out,
So,
I think, oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the thing that you hear so often is you have to figure out your why.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. What is your why? Why are you doing this? And when you are doing it for other people and not for yourself, that's when it's most rewarding. And that's when it makes the most sense. And that's when you feel the best and fulfilled by what you do when you are giving of yourself to improve someone else's life. So thank you for what you do, Heather, because it is
Mm.
truly um, life changing. I mean, you and I know when people are going through different changes in their statuses, we need someone who knows what they're talking about, who knows the ins and outs of these things to help us navigate what our next step is supposed to be, because it's so daunting to me. Okay, maybe it's not daunting to anyone else, but to me, trying to find the right health insurance as a self-employed person was just so daunting. But you made the entire experience so easy and just really you were so patient and so kind, and I just know that all of your clients feel the same way that I do, that you truly are just a gift for doing what you do. I truly appreciate you personally, and I want to speak on behalf of my the listening audience that if they need insurance, that they should definitely reach out to you, because you will take care of them and you will walk them through every single step of the way and make this mountainous thing not so daunting.
It is. I tell people all the time, you don't know what you don't know. I'm in that season right now personally, and it's not it's not my goal to sell somebody insurance. It's my goal to make sure they're fully informed of all of their options.
Right.
Not just the plans that I write, but everything, and make sure that they have the right fit that fits
Hmm.
financially, but it also covers them from a protection standpoint.
Right, right, exactly. And they have the right coverages, the right limits, and all of that great stuff. So, Heather, on your journey, what would you say was the best and most important advice that you got? From anyone when you were starting your business? What was the best advice that you received?
Well, golly, that's a multifaceted answer. When you start your own business, you have to understand you're going to have to work hard. If you're starting
Mm-hmm.
from scratch, you're going to have to grind. And you have to grind with balance, because
Mm-hmm.
you work hard, you play hard. But if there are
Mm-hmm.
other parts of your life that need to have attention, whether it's your family or civic duties or in your church, you have to make sure that you don't, I I don't want to say worship your career as an entrepreneur, but you have to have
Mm-hmm.
balance. You have to work hard.
Wow. Heather, you just said a mouthful right there. Balance is so key. I'm still learning it. It is a challenge because I truly love what I do. Owning a virtual assistant service and helping our clients, fill their needs, be their extra set of hands. It truly is fulfilling and rewarding for me personally. Not only are we assisting these busy executives, but when we do that, they don't have to work as hard. They don't have to stay at work as late. They get to go home and have dinner with their families. And I completely, and so it fills me and brings me such joy that I just want to keep on doing it and doing it all day long. And before I know it, it's like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, why am I still in my office? Okay. So anyways, you are totally preaching to me that I need to have balance. Balance is so key, and every entrepreneur needs to have balance, and not forsake the rest of the things that they're committed to, especially their families, as they're on the grind, trying to make things happen. And even if it does bring them so much joy, they still got to cut it off. You know what I mean? Cut it and switch hats and give attention to the things that are most important, like your family and
Yes.
civic duties, church, the whole nine. So, as an entrepreneur, what do you think are some of the most important skills that you need to have to be successful in business?
Skills, I think knowing what your forte is, sticking to what your
Hmm.
wheelhouse is, and finding people or things that can tend to the things you're not good at.
Yes, yes, that is so good. Delegation. I love that word. I'm
And
gonna put it in there.
you will know
Delegate.
most people that are entrepreneurs have a hard time with that.
Mm.
We're used to
Why do
doing
you
it
think
all
that
ourselves.
is? Why do you think that is?
I think that we sometimes you don't know what you need help with. And
Mm.
sometimes you think you can do it all until you realize you're just doing a lot of things okay. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that's our personality as business owners. People that are willing to venture out on their own feel like they're on their own.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they do. It's like you're out here. This is you against the world. Right. And I can completely relate, totally and completely, and so it helps. And and I think Michael Hyatt said something. He's a well-known motivational speaker and entrepreneurial coach and business coach. And he said he made it up his mind from a young age that he was going to do the things that he could do and delegate everything else to someone else who actually loves to do those things that he didn't like to do. And they were really good at it. So it was either Michael Hyatt or Tony Robbins. I can't remember which one it was. But
That
anyways, they're
sounds
both
like a Tony Robbins. That sounds like a Tony Robbins.
either way. I love that he said it because it's so true. And it helps us be more productive and helps our businesses flourish when we focus on the things that only we can do and then delegate the rest.
It is
So,
true.
and speaking of the relationship, so as we are working together, building our businesses, drawing clients, there's so many important relationships that get created along the way. Have you found any networks, or how would you say is the best way to grow your business with relationships?
That's the crux of it. You have to develop relationships. I think as an entrepreneur, you never just want to have a one and done encounter. I
Right.
try to be involved in, volunteer organizations. I'm active in my church. I have a huge network of people that I've known, over the 57 years that I've been on this earth. But I also joined during
Yeah.
COVID, which is kind of crazy, a group, a networking group, and it's called Business Networking International. So BNI. That
Hmm.
is a very unique model, a very successful model.
Hmm.
It's each area has a chapter, and each chapter has a single seat for different categories. So I hold the health insurance seat in our group. There was also previously, before some health issues, we had an ancillary health insurance seat.
Hmm.
And it is anything from closing attorneys to carpenters, but only one person
Wow.
gets to hold the seat. It's a very unique business model.
Wow. That is great. So just tell me a little bit more about BNI, because I was I heard about it several years ago when a friend of mine invited me to sit in for her as a guest because she wasn't able to make it. And it seemed like you said, there's one seat for every industry of whatever they were working in. So like she was in sales, I think. Another person, I think most of the folks were in sales, but they had specific industries that they targeted. And like one was in
Correct.
real estate, and one was selling send out cards, and one was selling, some other thing. So it was a very, I want to say that experience was life changing for me, because it was at that event where I met a person who was also filling in for somebody, and his name was Dan Jordan. And Dan Jordan, he's called the Sales Energizer.
Ah,
And I'm not sure how many of you know Dan Jordan, but he has this powerful presence, and he helps salespeople learn, tips and tricks, and he's just an incredible person. And he also has his own podcast as well, and he records. And so through that relationship where I met him, where we were both guests at this BNI event, we have developed relationship and we've stayed in touch. And that, I promise you, had to be back in like 2016, maybe 2017. And here it is, 2023, and we still are close and think of each other when we think of new business, of who could be good clients or customers for them, or for each other. And it's just been a really, really fantastic experience. So, and I say you tell me more about BNI, but here I go sharing my
You said it all.
story. But that is just a huge endorsement for how true it is that it works.
It definitely works. And
The
and there are there
system
are attendance
works.
requirements, and like I said, it's a very well-oiled machine, and it's
Look,
proven.
right, right, yes, and they've definitely worked out all the kinks, and it works if you work it. So, um,
Exactly.
so with that being said, tell us a little bit more then about you and what the future holds for Health Insurance Belle.
Future for Insurance Bell looks very bright. Unfortunately, I'm working through some personal challenges with my husband's health, but the way that our business model is, I'm able to maintain my client base and I work on referrals. So
Mhm,
I'm able to work at any time. So I see
mhm,
huge growth once we get him healthy. Um,
mhm.
and just to maintain the relationships that I have. But since I work from a referral standpoint, that makes it a lot easier for me from a time
Excellent.
commitment.
Of being right. And as I was listening to you, I was thinking, gosh, what a blessing to be in this position where you work from home, you work for yourself, and you're able to take care of an ill family member at any time. So, I mean, it's a
Yep,
great position to be in. And some people who, maybe in corporate America, they may, not have such flexibility. But as an entrepreneur, you definitely have flexibility to kind of pivot when you need to. And then you bring in people to help you keep things moving along. And that's where, we come in as executive help now, in our virtual assistant service, or, other peers, or, other, the referral business that you have, that your current clients who refer business, continuing to refer business. It's like the relationships that you've developed now start to work for you without you having to do
exactly.
it.
Yep,
It's so
you got it.
incredible, so amazing. Well, Heather, this has truly been an absolute honor and joy just to sit with you and chat with you and learn more from you, about your entrepreneurial journey, different tips and tricks for success for us, to do something that we're passionate about, do something that helps others, and get in a space that isn't just a fad, but something that will last throughout the rest of your working career. And I just thank you so much for those nuggets of wisdom, and I'm just so grateful for your time today.
Well, I have to say thank you for everything that you and your team have done for me in my almost complete absence over the last 2.5 months. Um, and, anybody that wants to be successful in their career, find a mentor,
Yes,
follow
find
the
a
people that
mentor.
are very good at what they do. Make sure that
Yeah,
you have a business plan and your finances and your corporation or LLC or sole proprietorship set up and just go get them.
that's right. Go get them. I love it. Love it. Love it. And so, how can we reach you? I saw a quick blip of how we can reach you if we want to stay in touch, or we need health insurance, if we're self-employed, or if we just want to make a switch or want to see what else is out there. How do the listeners find you?
It's best to give me a call, and my cell phone number is 706-318-9946. If I don't respond quickly enough, send me a text, and you can always email me. It's a long one, but it's heather.cadle at ushadvisors.com.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I think we will definitely put that up on our screen so that folks will have a way of reaching you should they need you. But Heather, it has been an absolute joy and pleasure working with you. And I'm so grateful that you have taken time out of your incredibly busy day to be a guest on the Renee Speak podcast. It's been awesome. Thanks. And you have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.